just up, float down the wire.
Sitting on the wire. You can see actually granite tables here. It's perfectly level.
Hey guys, welcome back. Joe again here from Their World Aquatics, and here we go, part 2 of the 720-gallon aquarium. We're on our way to ACRYLIC Creations in Butler, Pennsylvania. The tank is all strapped down, as you can tell, and it's time to roll. Let's go. Take a look at the overflow box that he has made for us. Oh, jump over the little hurdle right there. Now, last time I was here, you had those crazy wooden sculptures of all the tractors, the backhoes. Remember, they're sitting right over here at the end of this table. We talked about that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I see they're
still here. They're up on shelves.
Oh, that was.
And they were up on the shelf.
I love that thing. So if you guys really want to kind of get pretty in depth on that, go back to the last video. Where they at? Where they at? There we are. Those are awesome. Yeah, so go back to the first video on those guys and you'll see.
That thing. Show them that crazy.
All right.
That's the bathroom tank.
So here in the restroom, there's another drop-down tank. Look at this, guys. That's 6 foot.
Yeah, it's about 6 by 18 by 40.
So if you're using the facilities, you got something great to look
Everybody
at.
tells me that did we cut this out deliberately for the toilet paper? I said no. Normally there would be a door on here, and that would be your fish supplies.
Okay.
So it's something different.
Okay. So if you're in the bathroom using the facilities here, you have a great viewing tank.
Yeah.
A nice little drop down. That's awesome.
Here's the overflow box.
All right, there it is.
Want me to stand it up?
All right, so we're getting closer. We've got some suction cups grabbing this jack. There's one there. There's one right here. We actually put some tie wraps on there to hold it. And what we're going to do is, see another one down there with some 2x4s. We're going to be eventually pushing on the corner overflow box and making it so that it's right on the tape line all the way down. And on this side, obviously, we're using acrylic because you can't put a jack in there. There's not enough room to do it. So there's one on the bottom. Eventually, the second one's going to be on top here in a second. We got everything marked on the bottom. We know exactly where we're at. And now what we're going to do is, I've already did it. I've actually scored the inside of the overflow box. It's hard to tell, but took the razor blade and we kind of got this section right here because we're getting ready to move the corner overflow box and tape the inside. Once the tape is on, this is where it gets a little tricky because we're going to put on some wax, right? Just any style of wax?
No, I'm going to give you wax before we take that apart.
Put the wax on
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Time for some wax. Wax on. Someday wax off. So while he's grabbing the wax, just so you guys know, this is just kind of a dry run. Everything's kind of getting in position now so that we know when the time comes and we put the glue on, we know where to put the jacks and how much tension to put on them. So once again, why are we putting the wax? Now that he's back, why are we putting the wax on now?
We're putting the wax on now so that when we move it out of the way, the wax is already on the black and on the clear.
Okay.
And perfectly in the corner.
All right.
We're gonna just take the wax and just go like this, and turn it, and just go like this.
Okay, now tell everybody why are we putting the wax on in the first place? Because I can tell you in all my years of doing this, I've never heard about this wax.
Okay, well the wax keeps the glue from sticking from what would it be called? Actually, how acrylic just molds to itself.
The molecular bond thing?
Yeah,
Two pieces
it
of
doesn't
acrylic?
bond it. It keeps it from bonding, just right there and right there.
All right, so the tape is on, literally because we know that's our
straight,
edge.
That's a straight line.
That's our straight edge.
Yeah.
And then the wax makes it so that are you using Weld-On 16? 40,
Yeah, 16.
16.
Yeah.
And that makes it so that the glue does not grab.
Yeah.
And now
It's still gonna adhere just behind it and just a little bit in the corner, but it's a lot easier to get the little bubbles off.
Now,
little pieces of, because 16 is like liquid acrylic. It actually turns into.
Now, how long does that? You said we're going to let it set up for what, 12, 14 hours, and then tomorrow we chip it off?
We'll chip off whatever's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's throw some wax on, and we'll go to the next step.
Make sure you're right up against the. Keep it over there.
We might need some more. Don't get cheap with the wax now.
I'm not.
All right, so those guys who want to start building aquariums, don't do it because this sucks. There's not much room in here.
Unless you're 24 years old.
Yeah. I see people doing messages all the time, or, man, I want to get into building tanks. I want to learn how to build tanks. No, you don't. Just buy it.
Yeah, just buy it.
Be done with it. It's definitely time consuming. So what Dave is doing now is just kind of roughing up
That's all. Yeah.
the acrylic between the two pieces of tape so we have a nice adhesion with the glue. Once that's roughed up, I'm going to wipe it down, check the wax on both sides of the tape, and then we're going to go ahead and set the overflow box in position.
It out, I have to, clean up the corners or whatever. I'm always inside the tanks, and this is hard for me.
And you were just saying a few seconds ago the reason why you want to kind of stop working on the bigger ones because you got to physically get inside the tank.
Yeah. Versus on a little tank, you could just lay it down on its side and just from a table do whatever I need to do.
Right.
Can't turn these over.
No, I mean it's definitely more labor, but I mean a bigger tank costs more money.
Yeah.
So I mean there's probably the profit margin goes up. So a tank, like you were saying, a tank in the other room, the 10 by 30 by 30, we'll call it roughly, even though the dimensions are a little bit different.
Yeah.
That tank is going for how much?
Let's say 7,500.
7,500. But you were showing online it can
Yeah,
go as
we're
high
showing
as.
online more,
But you've seen them as high as 17.5.
yeah.
Now, what about the tank that we're in, like right now? 8 by 3 by 4. What would something like this roughly?
I'd have to look it up. I don't really even know off the top of my head. Yeah.
It's probably safe to say 10 grand or more.
Oh yeah, easy. Yeah. Acrylic has gone up 30% lately over the last 2 years.
This is probably one of the hottest topics with all the aquarium guys. So, explain to us the difference between like Weld-On 3, 5, here's 16. I remember Weld-On 40. You said 42.
Yeah.
So, explain
Okay.
to the guys all the different styles of glue and why.
Okay, 3 and 4 are typically designed for, say, up to ½ inch thick material, and it's a liquid, and it goes in under a joint. I can't remember what that word is called, but there's a specific word that it goes down under. You can have two pieces right touching each other.
Just kind of like weeps right in?
Yeah, it squeezes right in there.
Okay.
Okay, and then then 16 will take up to 3/4, but not for an aquarium, just for things you're putting together, signs and pieces you're adding to another piece, and even an overflow box, which is ½ inch here, that we're going to use the 16 for that. And then we have the 42, which is a 2-part glue, and it mixes, and it's designed specifically for aquariums, and it'll take up to 1.5 inches and then 2-inch even.
But that's mainly designed for
That's designed
bringing
for
two big panels
big
together.
panels together. Yeah.
And it just mix the two together. And if I remember, you have like a limited amount of time from the time the two parts come together to the when you apply it.
But yeah, I mean, you have 30 minutes, maybe not that long, 15 minutes to work with it.
Okay.
You know.
So we wouldn't use that for a situation like this. This is more 16. Just put it on, it locks right in.
Right.
Okay. So we're
And
gonna
the
use.
thing is with 16 too is you got to watch because you can't stick it and then pull it away. Go stick it once.
One shot.
Yeah, because it actually does dry pretty quick if you stick it, pull it away, and you see that film there.
Okay.
You know.
Well, I've used the 3 and the 5. Like you said, it's like
3
a
and
liquid.
4.
3 and 4. It's like a liquid.
The liquid.
Like water.
Yeah.
It just runs right down.
Right.
It's actually kind of horrible. It's good for like something down low, and you kind of, like I said, with the little bottle, the needle, kind of inject it right in. That's one thing.
What that does, yeah.
So, all right. So let's get ready to put on some 16.
Okay.
All right. So now we're roughing up the ends of the overflow box, so that glue really bites in good. All right, guys, so that was a little tricky, but we got it. So the corner overflow box is in, and man, it doesn't take long to lock up. Holy cow. But we're definitely going to let it sit up for about 30 minutes before we do nothing to that thing. But nice bead all the way down, nice and clean. So that's going to look pretty good. So while that is drying, we're moving to the center of the bottom of the tank where that center island overflow was at. And we're going to go ahead and cap that off because we no longer need this thing. Just putting down more 16. You need another tube?
I got the little tubes here.
Here's the bigger one.
No, I'm going to save that.
Okay.
I got enough in these.
So that's a piece of 1/2 inch acrylic, and you've already beveled the perimeter of it. Oh. So you just throw it on there, huh? That's,
Yeah, just throwing it on.
it is what it is.
Yeah, and you can't wipe it because if you wipe it, it starts to dry immediately.
Oh, okay. And that side's been roughed up already. There's no turning back now.
Nope.
All right, so I got a couple pieces of lead, putting a little weight on the top of that thing, and it's looks to be pretty square with the front and back walls of the tank. And now you're just putting down a beater around the perimeter. This has got a little chamfer right here, and then the opposite over here. So this is where the glue is going to go right here, and this will be the inside of the tank. All right, so Dave is making the braces right now to push on the left and right side over here. But as you can see, we went ahead and cut all of these around the perimeter of the tank, and this will give us extra support. A little extra insurance on this big old 720. You can see I got them all the way around me. So we'll be gluing those in here momentarily to really help strengthen up the bottom of this tank. But so far looking pretty good. Well, it shouldn't rain tonight. All right, guys, so here it is. We're done for the day. I've disconnected the trailer, and we're going to let this sit up during the night. I'm going to go grab a hotel. I'll be back in the morning. But you can see we've got all the bracing around the perimeter, and then all these uprights around the perimeter walls and down low. What those are doing, they're pushing on the bracing all the way around. They're locking that in right now. So, but that's pretty much it for today. Good job, Dave. And we'll be back in the morning to take all this stuff off and then do some final cleanup. There might be a little bit of weld on 4, you said.
Yeah.
A little bit right here.
trickles and forms and
Yep, some areas.
places. Don't step back too far.
Oh yeah, the trigger might go up. All right, let's hold it there for right now. We're back in the morning. So what's the first step?
So the first step is we clean this off. I mean, I just, I don't really worry about cleaning it off with anything in particular. It's not greasy or anything. See these little pins? Real fine wire.
Okay.
I buy it in a roll and just cut them. Okay, so I'll put one down there.
Oh, lacing wire.
What is it?
Here.
Lacing wire. Use a lot of it in automotive.
Lay that in position. Okay.
Let me get over here on this side. So it's just up.
It's just up
Floating
and
on the wire.
sitting on the wire at the moment. And as you can see, we have actually granite tables here because it's perfectly level.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm taking the air
This is
out.
the number 4.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is the process. We are just literally going to just fill it. Yeah, I know, but can't do anything about it. It's all right.
It's just weeping right in there.
What it's doing is filling the gap between the two. And even if you do manage to get a little bit of air bubbles in it, 99% of the time they pop out. Okay. Now we look over at the clock. We go for about a minute, 5 seconds or 10 seconds.
You really have that down, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
1 minute, 10 seconds.
1 minute, 10 seconds. So it's on the
Try
five.
that again.
Okay. See how this is 3/4 thick, so you have a little gap there in the back here.
Right.
And then same thing on this side.
So when you're making your bottom plate, you just know
Yeah.
you've got an extra
Right. Okay.
material. You can take the router and chop that off later.
Yeah, okay, so we'll pull these out.
So the whole minute and 10-second thing is literally,
It's
to pull the wire out.
Well, yeah, it's literally gonna, it's actually melting the acrylic. Okay, now, okay, then what we do is we take a little bit, take the clam, and just, we don't put these on here very tight. 'Cause it will move on you. You just gotta, figures I grab a clamp that doesn't work. Yep.
Those are nice clamps. That's just biting right into the granite countertop.
For me?
I see that's clamping right into the granite countertop.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes you gotta. That's not gonna. All right.
All right, so the clamps are on.
Their
Now
gloves
what?
are on. They're just on snug, just to hold it down. That's all. Just sometimes things might slide.
How long do you keep the clamps on for now?
Oh.
Just a 24-hour thing, or?
No. Well, we would turn this around and do the other side. And you see, I do this one, I do that one, and then I do that one over there.
Oh, okay,
And by
you're
the
bouncing
time
around.
By the time I come back to this, it's time to turn around and do the other side.
Okay.
So it's just a process. We keep going around in a circle until we get off.
But in reality, this will be ready within an hour. This panel right
You
here,
say ready to
to flip it around.
not even an hour.
Not even an hour.
15 minutes, we'll be able to flip it around, but we can't router anything until an hour or so.
Right.
You see,
I got
we're
you.
just getting everything.
We always do it the following day.
Yeah, we router the following day.
I got you.
As far as getting all the panels on,
But that's pretty much it.
that's it. Yeah.
Put the
What
number
we'll
4
do
in
is
there.
We'll put both sides on, and then tomorrow we'll probably put the ends on. And then
Okay.
the following day we'll take and router them,
Okay.
and then I start and sand and buff them. Well, after they're all routed.
Router.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in the end, something like this over here, a couple days.
Yeah, that's what it's gonna do.
Man,
That's
that's beautiful.
all. Yeah.
Router the top, router the corners, and then the buffing. Talk to me about the buffing. How does that once it's all glued up, you said you router and then the
It's
process
all
of
routed and then it's sanded and buffed.
same thing. Do the
Same.
800,
Like what we use-
2000.
Yeah, what we use going outside.
yeah. We start with 220 with the rough, you know, it takes the router marks off, 220.
Okay.
And then go to the 800, then go to the 2000.
Okay. Oh. Let's see this one. This guy right here again. Man, that's nice. All right, guys, this tank's available. What was this one? 100 and
It was 118
118.
by 35 by 27 or 28.
I'm surprised that has not sold yet.
And it's we're asking. This is probably about $17,000 if I'd actually buy the acrylic just for this, you know. But these are we said that these were parts that we got from another tank
Right.
that I built. So I'm only asking $7,500.
Yeah, but new's new.
Yeah, it is. It's brand new.
I just can't believe acrylic is going up that much
it's
since the whole.
Yeah, it is.
All right, that looks good. So that's pretty much it. Put the wire in.
It's
Put
a
the number 4 in there. Clamp it down. Let it sit up for a little bit, and then start spinning them around. Now you have the tops for these made, or is that just? Oh, these are all open top, right?
Yeah, these are open. Yeah, see, like I said, it's just. And then there's times too when you don't even have to put the clamps on. You know, I'll lay this here. Okay, bring it over to the end, glue it. Let me try this one, see if it works out that way. And keep in mind, people, that I tell you to put the clamps on, but you're only putting the clamps on just to snug it. You're not going to squeeze the glue out of it, which you don't want to do. Okay. 1 minute and 10 seconds.
Well, you really got that minute 10-second thing down.
All this-
Because obviously, once you went 2 minutes, and what happened? You couldn't get the needle. You couldn't get the needle out. All right, so take this size. What does something like this go for?
Okay, we sell a 3-foot tank for 300, 4s for 400, and 6 or 8 foot for 600 and 800. And they can be up to 12 inches tall for those prices. But when you get up into a 48, 12 tall, it has to be shipped freight.
Okay.
Okay, but we'll make a 48, 10 or 8, and we can ship it UPS. It's a lot cheaper.
Okay. So just for clarity, this one's 36 by 30?
36 by 24 by 10, this particular one.
All right, so this tank right here,
300. And
it's
it-
$300,
And
this
that
tank right here.
includes an overflow box, wherever you want it, in the corner, in the back, on the side, or.
Oh, okay, overflow box.
And it includes the bulkheads.
Okay,
It's complete.
open top.
Yeah, they're just made this way because that way when people call an order, then I can customize it to whatever they want.
Okay. This one here on the bottom was a tad bigger. Is that?
That's a 4-foot.
Okay. It's so clear you can hardly even see it.
Yeah.
And these were 3-footers.
This is going to be a 4-footer.
Yeah, 4. 4 and 3 and 3. All right, and they can get all this information on the Acrylic Creations website, right? Are there prices on there, or do they have to call?
They're on there, yeah.
Okay, and we'll leave a link in the description below on how to get a hold of Dave at Acrylic Creations, so you guys can order these frag tanks or any other aquarium that you're looking for. All right, guys, it's the next day, and everything is glued up and complete. Got the corner overflow box on the right, and we've got the bracing all put in around the perimeter. And obviously we went ahead and plugged that hole right there. So, all right, there it is. The 720 has been fixed, and it's pretty hot right now. We got the tarp on the front of the cover to kind of block us from the sun rays, but we should be good to go to be traveling back. So appreciate you guys watching, and we're going to go ahead and see you on the next video. But there is another part coming up, and that is polishing acrylic. Be sure to watch that video. Till then, we're out of here.